Ah, yes! Boston has entered the chat on a Friday, July 18th, here inside the Salem 5 studios. Travis Thomas here with the Kasey Hudson. How are you?
I love that you do that.
Yeah.
Did I tell this story already? That in college, when I used to meet guys, I used to put my name in their phone.
The
Case.
It's only right.
That's it. All caps too, by the way, as if it wasn't obnoxious enough to put your name in their phone with a the.
And I describe you that way naturally.
There
How
we
about
go.
that?
I manifested it.
You did.
I did.
Hey, you know what we're manifesting? Sports! Because last night, I took notes. No MLB, no NFL, no NBA, no WNBA, no college football to be seen, no NHL, which you love, no MLS, nothing.
Dry.
We had nothing.
Dry.
But today.
We had a dry January in the middle of July.
It's too hot to be dry anything.
Sorry. That's only in Boston.
By the way, yeah, especially.
Yeah.
By the way, we have baseball today.
We do.
Afternoon at Wrigley.
Oh, yeah.
Giolito's on the bump. This Red Sox team, hotter than fish grease, went into the All-Star break winners of 10 straight. We'll see if they can catch that lightning in a bottle today. I believe they can, Case. And we want to hear from you. Email us at chat@nesson.com. Tweet at us using the hashtag NessonChat. Call us 617-790-0928. We want to hear from you. Sox are back at Wrigley, 3 against the Cubs. Then they go to Philly for 3 against the Phillies. Then, oh yeah, the Avengers, a.k.a. the Dodgers, come here to Fenway.
Great way to put
That's
that.
one hell of a 9-game stretch. Let's start today in Wrigley. What are you expecting?
The expectation is that the All-Star break wasn't a momentum stopper, but a restful momentum continuer for this Red Sox team. Hopefully continuer makes sense. But you always want to make sure that they can really kind of load up on that second half of the season and make sure that everything that was kind of a questionable puzzle piece leading into this the 10-game winning streak is not just conversation. It's not just luck. I know that we're looking at it and we're like, yeah, they beat up on the Rockies. Woohoo. Rockies made a lot of mistakes in that game. But I feel like they're starting to find a rhythm. I feel like there's new leaders kind of rising in that clubhouse. So when you have the right voices kind of pushing a team and rallying behind you and everyone finding their identity within, this team can actually find its identity. Yes, there's still pieces that need to be added to this roster to give it that bump to be competitive, but the climb has been perfect, and everything that we were so concerned about, can they get run support when they have good pitching, can they show up in those later innings, those things started to happen. And I feel like today's going to be a true testimony to it, going against a Cubs team that had its own winning streak heading into the break and probably wants to prove that they're serious.
You ever been to Wrigley?
No.
Me either. I want to go.
My godfather's a big Cubs fan.
Cubs fan?
Yeah.
They have great fans, I'm not going to lie.
They do.
I don't like them today.
Well,
Or
this weekend.
tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah.
But I do respect Cubs fans. I respect Wrigley. I want to go. I want to talk to you about this.
Talk.
I'm looking right now as we speak at the playoff picture if it started today.
Yeah.
In the American League and the National League. Red Sox, Yankees in the wild card. And the winner would get the Tigers. I mean, is there anything better than that? Are you kidding me? Red Sox, Yankees, and the winner gets the Tigers. You would get Mariners, Blue Jays on the other side. Winner gets the Astros. You want the NL just for shacks and giggles here? Brewers and Mets, wild card. Winner would get the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. Padres and Phillies, another great series. That winner would get the Cubs.
Oh, nice.
So now,
I'm all about taking on the Yankees.
Red Sox, Yankees in the wild card.
I'm all about it.
Wow.
Yeah, because watching what they did in Yankees territory, then being able to copy and paste much of that.
Well, yeah. The Yankees haven't played well this season.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
Aaron
fine.
Judge and a bunch of dudes, right?
Right. But still, like, that would be a confident take on for this team. And, like, now the young guys are really starting to feel themselves, and find their own rhythm. Yeah, then, like, this is something that you could really see taking off. And you've said it kind of from the go. A wild card spot for this team is probably the best way to muscle your way in and through the postseason.
Well, let's look at this as a smaller sample size.
All right.
We all wanted the All-Star break just for a break because baseball season is so long, right? Mm-hmm. But realistically speaking, I kind of wish the All-Star break never hit because this team's so hot. Yeah. You wanted them to keep playing, okay? Now we'll see if they could take that momentum and carry it over. Mm-hmm. But damn, I remember wanting the All-Star break so bad, and then it got here, and I was like, oh, I wish it was maybe another 4 or 5 games. Yeah, like they're on a hot streak. So we'll see how they come back from it. But that's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get in as a wild card, you keep playing. Sometimes these division winners are the ones that are sitting there waiting, and we've seen in recent years that hurts them. But we'll see. I mean, the way this team's playing right now, the Sox I'm talking about, the division's not out of the question. They can still win the whole division. So we'll see what happens. I know this. These 9 games we're talking about, Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers. At the end of that, the trade deadline's right there.
Yeah.
So, my gut says this team should be buyers at the deadline. But I also, Casey, I'm curious to know what you think about this. I don't want them to wait. I don't necessarily think you need to wait till the trade deadline. I would feel comfortable if they just go out now and make a move, or within the next, week or so, and make a move. Don't wait till the deadline. If you think you can go for it, and we just gave you, if the playoffs started today, the matchups here. If you're going to go for it and try to win the American League, then go for it now and try to win the American League. I don't think you need to wait.
No.
But I also understand maybe it's let's see, because these 3 teams you're going against, Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers, out of the top 5 in the NL, that's 3 of them. So there's no better test to find out what you are now as currently constructed.
Right.
Than those teams. So maybe it is a wait and see. Let's see where we're at the end of these 9 games.
I don't think we need to wait through these 3 teams, though.
So you agree, get it done now?
Yeah, because for one, I'm leaning and sticking with buyers and focusing on buyers, and I don't think that it has to be too splashy. If you're confident in everything that was being said leading into the All-Star break, which is this team is capable of doing what? Surprising people, continuing to win. They started to solve the issues that they were having that made them so inconsistent. So if we stand by that, then you just need a couple level up pieces. This team has often been referred to as having a very thin bullpen. So you got to get that support in there so that we don't have all these question marks as guys try to get healthy, as we don't know if certain pitchers are actually going to be that helpful.
Sure.
So that's the biggest thing, and I don't think that you have to go too crazy for that. With that being said, I might say that we don't need to wait through these 3 teams, but I would say we need to wait through this one. I would love to see a move be made after this series because, for one, you see what guys can actually pick up where they left off before the All-Star break. Are the mechanics and everything there to the point to where the intuitive flow you got to get back into to help this team be taken seriously?
Sure.
Can Narvaez get back to being the batting average that he was that helped his team so much? Trevor Story, I mean, how many tweets can you load up and be like, he is back, he is back, he is back, he is back, he is back?
Right.
And then every other guy who has made a case for themselves to remain on this team. So I think jumping into this series against a team that can kind of make things uncomfortable, I think they're averaging a little over 5 runs themselves. So how do you minimize their success? After that, what does that small bump look like? Because all the conversations made it seem like this team was good enough as of that day to compete down the stretch. And I want to see what this team looks like with the new additions before you take on the best team in the MLB, being the Dodgers. So I think there's wiggle room right there. Phillies don't care so much about, but after this Cubs series, I think it's enough of a test to say, all right, this is actually all we need. And they handled the All-Star break very well. Yeah,
I think all of us look at this team and feel like they need the same things. You could use another starter, obviously. Could use some. When can you not use an arm in the bullpen? Every team needs that. That's a contender. I would love a bat in this lineup, preferably at first base. But I'll just take another bat, right? So the question is, what are you willing to give up? And that's the question. Because we saw. Look, going back, I don't want to bring up old stuff here, but going back to the Raffy trade. The objective of that trade was getting him out of your clubhouse, and whatever culture he was trying to build here is not what you're trying to build here. Right? So, okay, you did that. But obviously the return wasn't what we all thought was equal to or greater than value than the player, right? But it was to get that headache out of here and to get the money off the books. Mission accomplished. These trades we're talking about, trying to add to this team, I mean, the return, if you're talking these players that we've been throwing out every day, Duran, Yoshida, whoever, I mean, you got to get something back to help this team for the push that we're talking about.
It has to be prominent.
It has to be. You cannot play around with this stuff if you're going for it. And that's why I said, I don't think we're going to get our wish, actually, Casey. I think they are going to play these games out, Cubs, Phillies, and Dodgers, and wait till the deadline. And then we'll see.
I mean, look, it's going to be very telling to see how well they can go toe-to-toe with a Dodgers team, so I can understand the reservation leading up to that. But like I said, I mean, you already know they're categorized as one of the top teams, and what they have in terms of muscle and power and everything counts.
Sure.
So if you stand by the fact that like this team was doing so well with what they had, they just need to make a few little tweaks.
Yeah.
Then you actually see, like, if you make those tweaks beforehand and you see how well you contend against the Dodgers team, that would really put it into perspective. And then you're just sitting there letting guys know, all right, we need a little bit of this from you, we need a little bit of that from you, and like, yeah, we're going to power through this postseason.
I think they have to get out on a strong foot here. Giolito's today, then you have Bayo tomorrow night, Crochet Sunday afternoon. My gut says take 2 out of 3.
Yes.
But I actually think Giolito's start out of these 3 guys, this is the one I want to see the most. Because Bayo, I do believe what we've seen lately from him is sustainable. I always felt like with Bayo, it was a confidence thing. And he's as confident as he's going to be right now. So you should get the best from him. Crochet, do we even need to talk about? He's a Viking straight out of Game of Thrones. The end. Giolito's a guy, 5-0 in his last 5 starts. But, I mean, last scene, he was mowing down the Rockies, who are the worst team I've ever seen with Dynai. So,
hey, sometimes all it takes is confidence, no matter what the package comes in.
And he's pitching well. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
But I also think first game coming out of an All-Star break where you're the hot team and you're on the road against a really good Cubs team and a really tough building to get a win on the road, if you can get that one, I think you kind of keep that momentum that you built up before the All-Star break. I also know that you saw a crossover of sorts, a hockey soundbite that you liked, talking about the Red Sox. Can you explain this to me like I'm a kindergartner, please?
Of course.
Okay,
kindergarten version is all of us were so excited about the Red Sox, and we couldn't stop tweeting about the absolute wagon this team has turned into leading into the break. And I specifically use the word wagon because we will hear it here. But look, we all want to feel and hope like that wasn't just like false confidence of rallying behind this Red Sox team, right? And somebody else feels the same way. Ryan Whitney kind of walks us through the emotions I think a lot of Red Sox fans have right here.
They've won 10 in a row, buddy. They traded away Rafi Devers, who people were like, what the hell? They signed a $300 million contract, just whatever, last year. And first off, people were telling me, oh, bandwagon fan. I've been watching the Red Sox since these people chirping me were in diapers. I probably watched 100 games a year from 98 to like 2018. And then since then, it's just, but yeah, I haven't been watching many games. They haven't been great. It's kind of been a disaster. Dude, they have this young squad. They got this Marcelo Mayer, 4th overall pick a couple years ago, silky stud. He's up now. They got this Roman Anthony. This kid's an absolute stallion. He's lighting it up. It's just, they got this Sedan. I don't even know if I'm saying it's like Rafaela. Now, maybe I look a little bandwagon.
Sounds like a soccer player.
Maybe I look a little bandwagon considering I can't say some of their names, but this team is so fun to watch. They've won 10 in a row. I'm back in. And I think what happened was, and I think other dads or moms will agree, Ryder is so into baseball. He loves baseball.
Really?
And so now he's like, can we watch the Red Sox? Now, dude, I'm back. All my buddies at home, we're all back in, and it's just a joy every day to know whether it's 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you sit back, you watch the Sox. I feel like I'm 18 years old again. Not physically or mentally, but Red Sox wise, I'm 18 years old.
Red Sox-wise, I think we all felt 18 years old leading into the All-Star break, and we all just want to feel 18 years old again. I can't pretend to be 18 anymore, but look, I can live vicariously through this Red Sox team. But I agree, you've got the silky stud, you've got the stallion, and you've got a team that just wants to prove that it ain't all talk. And what better way to do that than come out and make a point? You got Giolito that should be picking apart a Tucker, Happ, Suzuki, Swanson, Turner, and Horner. And these are guys who he has a good strikeout ratio to their appearances at trying to load up at the bat. So I think that they are in good position to try to make it count.
I don't want to be 18 no more. I was broke. I did have hair, though. I had hair, but I'm still broke now, but I'm less broke than when I was 18.
I was reckless and an adrenaline junkie then, and I am reckless and an adrenaline junkie now. So
you didn't change one bit.
Not too much. Not too much. I can't surf anymore, but
I will say this, though. Our Spittin' Chicklets boys, like, this team is fun.
Yeah.
Winning is fun, peeps. I mean, we all feel it. So now, these next 9 games is a great test to see, like,
If I'm the Red Sox, that picture, that walk-off picture of Rafaela is hanging up at everybody's locker.
Facts.
And we just have the right music.
I'm with you.
One of the best photographs in the MLB that will go down in history, and then just pick it back up.
Yes.
I don't want to make it sound too simplified, but come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think today is important.
Yeah.
I think if Giolito can give us another solid outing, he needs run support early. We're talking about him. Hey, can you get a couple runs up early? You go up 2-3-0.
Yeah, we don't need a comeback game.
Yes.
Even though it's been fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying. If you can go up 2-3-0, it takes a little pressure off Giolito.
Yeah.
He gives us another solid start. Now that momentum can carry over, and then you have Bayo, who's pitching great, and Crochet, lights out. That's what that means.
Don't play with your food.
Don't play with your food. Well said. All right, still to come here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. We won't play with our food, but we will skate to the ice and talk Bruins schedule. Remember this, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on Nesson and 9 a.m. right here on Nesson Nation! Yee! Every Monday through Friday. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. Okay, this is Casey's wheelhouse right here, and I love that we're in it. Bruins schedule comes out. I thought about you. We showed Bill Burr walking through the schedule, all the marquee matchups. It was funny. It wasn't as funny as I had hoped. He was also in a hotel room, which I was like, well, can we get a little production here?
He's a busy man.
We looked it up. He was on tour. He's in Italy somewhere. So
cool.
Respect to Bill Burr.
Okay.
But I thought about you because I'm like, I need Casey's breakdown of this schedule. But before we get into it,
Rolling my brain.
I was excited to have you on to talk Bruins hockey, but I wasn't the only one. We actually got a call from Alan in Arizona, who's family to the program. Thank you, Alan, for always getting involved. He left us a voicemail, and it was a simple question. And to be honest, I want to hear your answer to this. Take a listen.
Hey, good morning, guys. Alan from Arizona, originally from Lawrence, talking about hockey. Here's a little quick question for you. Now that the Canadians have not won it in over 30 years, and we changed the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, can we get an EO that now it is no longer the Stanley Cup, but it's America's Cup? Because that's exactly what it is. Have a great day, Canada. Love Boston. You guys have a wonderful time.
That was aggressive.
If I didn't love the way he said hockey. Alan, friend of the Boston Has Entered the Chat program.
Yeah.
We love you, bud.
Yeah.
That's a hard no. An absolute hard no. First of all, Canada is part of the North America.
That's factually correct.
Right. We're not, if the point was to be, kind of do one of those side backhanded comments to Canada,
very backhanded.
it's not going to really land. And then on top of that, like, look, I might not be the biggest historian on things, but when you've got the legendary, Stanley Cup and everything that goes behind it, and the social medias go crazy because Stanley Cup has its own handle and gets to talk to the players and the teams, and it's fun. It just adds to the energy of the greatest playoffs and the greatest trophy. You can't call it the greatest trophy and change the name, for one, and for two, I'm never, ever, ever not going to call it Lord Stanley.
Yeah, you have to. Lord Stanley's Cup. It's so cinematic, right?
It is.
I will say this about Canada, though. Y'all did me dirty during the Four Nations. You remember that? We love that.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, I got trolled so bad.
You did.
I was on radio that day on WEEI.
You could tell. I'm like, but what'd you do?
No, well, I didn't do anything. I was just talking some trash, and I guess, I don't know, some sort of Canada radio station got wind of it and called in and pranked me. It wasn't really a prank in my book because it was just me and a guy yelling at each other. So I'm like, what's a prank? But I think the prank was I was live on their show. Does that make sense?
It does.
So to them, it's like, let's call this show and go with this guy going at us. Except that I don't back down from anybody. So it wasn't, we were just yelling at each other. But later, when I got off air, they were like, hey, you're going viral. I was like, for what? And I guess me and this guy, it was a clip of us just going back and forth, talking trash. And then Canada won, so.
The pair of you really did encompass Four Nations and, how things tended to play out. But
U.S. didn't help me out with that one.
I can't jump on board with that. I mean, I'm American-born and I'm proud, but I've got so much family in Canada. Of course. And, my parents are both foreigners, so I got too much going on to pick a side.
No doubt. All right, walk me through this.
But I can pick the Bruins.
Yeah.
And kind of take this as, what are the fans' concerns as we kind of start moving through the offseason, gearing towards training camp, and how can we kind of make this schedule a little bit more exciting, or at least give ourselves, like, perspective? What are we looking for with these matchups? So the first load of concern was, did we actually get goal scoring support for David Pastrnak? And are we putting too much pressure on the shoulders of a Morgan Geekie to have another 30-goal season? And then who comes in next? Who's the next savior on this team to make sure that they get pucks on net and find the back of the net? So that is one thing. And then the investment in the bottom six was another concern for the fan base. So when we're looking at this schedule, October is going to be a good test that I think can answer some early on questions for all of us in the hockey community. You got a Sabres team, and I know you're thinking, Sabres, Kasey, are you serious? This is the jump off point for you? It is, because Rasmus Dahlin is one of the top players to draw in penalties, and that can be frustrating when you're the most penalized team, i.e. last year, the penalty minutes that the Bruins had. Can they be physical and disciplined?
Right.
Because we're talking about a Sabres team where they sometimes get off to these starts that people are like, oh, could they compete a little bit more? And then they fall apart because of Sabres. But outside of that, you're talking about a coaching staff that's mentioned being more physical, getting their defensive structure back to Bruins hockey, and then being able to also score in that. So you got to be staying out of the penalty box. Then, if anyone questioned how much I love Boston, how quickly one can fall in love, here's your answer. Your next test is the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think that this can be a quality test for the Bruins in a number of ways. We saw them pick up some gutted W's last season, but it's the fact that the sweet old Tampa Bay Lightning have been categorized as being a team that's too skill-centric. And when they are kind of pushed to their physical tests, they get out of their structure, they get away from their game. The Bruins can be disruptive in that sense if they're sticking to the identity of being physical, getting back to their defensive structure.
Are you calling the Lightning soft?
I didn't say that.
It felt like you were kind of leaning like they're soft as toilet paper. That's what I heard.
Wow.
Did you guys hear the same thing that I heard?
Now we're taking this all the way to Sherman.
Kasey,
no, we're not.
calling the Lightning soft.
She didn't. We're not
Clip
quoting
that
this.
off.
We're not
Make
clipping
it
this
viral.
off.
Olivia!
We're not sending this anywhere. But I'm just quoting what has been said. And what the Florida Panthers have done to this team. There's been so many comparisons of coaches looking at the Florida Panthers and being like, hey, how can we copy and paste some of that? So, yeah, if this team really kind of like invested in this bottom six and have the capability of being physical, being defensively structured and sound, and then starting to add some goals to it, then the Tampa Bay Lightning team is early on in the season. That could be a quality test for them to see if they can limit those scoring chances and just really annoy the crap out of them. You're talking about a Golden Knights team that were really kind of that power play juggernaut on the road. They relied on the power play a lot to kind of pick up some goals and gut out some wins, and now you've got a Mitch Marner in the mix of all of that.
Oh, God.
So how can this team, back to discipline, you can't be in the penalty box and giving up those opportunities. And then we also saw a Bruins team that was just like unfortunate in the sense of they kind of got off to a good rhythm in some games, and then the third period was just like for the taking. That's where they completely let opponents back in, and a Vegas Golden Knights team can do that.
Before we move on, Case, we can keep her on the ISO. Can you look at the bottom of your screen there? Here, I'm going to hand you this pen. You see this, Greg? There you go. Go ahead and put in your notes. October 16th should be a national holiday. It's my birthday. Just
oh
go
my
ahead
gosh.
Go ahead and
and there we go. All we're asking for, I'm like circling it on the screen, but not doing it well. You can tell that I don't use...
Maybe a trip to Vegas for your
That's
boy.
so perfect.
So we go to the Golden Knights.
Good luck charm.
Come on now. All right,
keep the Golden Knights off the power play. But yeah, and then we've seen what Eichel can do with this team, what he does with any team. So this is going to be another big test back to that whole, did we get defensively stronger? Can we get back to Bruins hockey and all of that jazz? Abs, that's going to be a big one for me for a number of reasons, because you're talking about a Bruins team last season that tended to get pinned in their zone quite often. It was hard for them to get out and do so in a way that was going to carry momentum for them to get on any sort of offensive push. And I mean, do you have to name the guys? They get their captain back in Landeskog. They've got the one and only
McKinnon,
Nate Dogg, and then you got Martin Necas, who's kind of like off his flank, and we know how decorative he can be when it comes to scoring. So these are guys between their pace and just their skill set that can really keep you just loaded up in your zone. And then on their back end, they got stronger with Brett Burns. Even though he's striking 40, he's still such a sound guy to have in the back.
In my dream world, this is a Stanley Cup preview.
Oh,
My dream world. That's a dream world. But that's maybe not for the Avalanche, but that's my dream world. Bruins
like,
Avalanche for Lord Stanley's Cup. Dream world. This is a Stanley Cup final preview.
The good thing about dreams is that there's no time restraint on
good
when
point.
that happens. So I will
point.
support you in that. But yeah, and then when you see an Avs team that was able to make the Dallas Stars uncomfortable, pin them a number of times in their zone, just be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen to the Bruins. So you want to see that they can kind of shake something that they were falling into a slump of last season, this season, and we can find that out on October 18th. The Mammoths, that's weird to really fully call them Mammoths.
Tusk up.
Tusk up. You think they do this?
Do they do that?
I don't know.
I kind of like it.
I'm a fan of it.
Wait, would it be? Oh yeah, because it's Tusk
Tusk
up.
up, yeah.
Yeah, you had to go that way.
You got to go that way.
I get it.
Dylan Gunther, complete animal for the Mammoths. Then you got JJ Peterka. We all heard me find a soapbox, stand on it, write his name on it, and like beg for him to find a way to come to the Bruins. But a relentless guy who's so hard to keep out of the mix. So you're looking at a number of young guys with so much skill that you got to try to slow down. So then you're seeing if this can be a Bruins team that can dictate pace. If they can do that, then hey, they're looking to be that much more competitive and add a few more W's to their situation. Then third and fourth line identity. I think that Utah Mammoths are going to have a pretty intricate fourth line that are going to be very annoying to play against. Mikhail Sergachev, I think the world of him, but they did bolster their defense by adding now Stanley Cup champion from the Florida Panthers, Nate Schmidt, or whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember him.
So,
by the way, Mammoths? Isn't it Mammoth?
Mammoth, it probably
Isn't it like
Mammoth.
a singular for plural?
We had this whole argument in the bullpen the other day.
Mammoths?
I think everything should be plural. It's not a team of
Really?
one. That's not my call, though.
Webster's Dictionary. Olivia, get Webster's Dictionary on the phone. Thanks.
While Olivia tracks down Webster, this is the one I'm sure everybody has on their list. It's the Florida Panthers, October 21st. Welcome back, Brad. And this is really just the
I'm not okay for this.
My fly boy and your fly boy.
I don't want to see
now
Brad
it's
with
my
them.
third and fourth line and your third and fourth line are hanging by the fire.
I don't like this song.
Okay, I'll change.
I'm not over it.
While you digest that grief, let's just say that it's going to be how physical can physicality get. And look, Mason Lohrei had a really hot goal versus this Florida Panthers team down in Florida last year, but it's going to be back to, can we kind of play your game, have our bottom six guys just kind of be complete animals, and on top of it, score in the mix.
You're over Brad being with them? You've moved on?
So
I can't move on.
I moved on.
You have?
Yeah.
Can you help me?
Yeah, easy.
How?
He's a Panther now.
I hate it.
He's been a Panther now.
Hey, we have an anonymous Bruins fan asking about James Higgins. I wanted you to hear this too. Take a listen.
What's your prediction on when the Bruins will have James Higgins be in a Bruins uniform?
What is your prediction, Case?
My prediction is, actually, I think Ty Anderson put this best on the Hockey Hub the other day.
Check that out.
We see him have a cup of coffee with the Bruins by April.
Oh.
Yeah. So this team finds their footing, really kind of like really starts to, the hope is that they make sense of these offseason signings. Of course, things can happen by then.
Get more physical, like you said.
Like that. Yeah. But what I talked about this, I think, with George, you don't want to see Higgins come in and be trying to compete on the bottom six.
Sure.
That's not the expectation of a first round pick. So letting this team find their identity, weed out the guys that kind of don't fit the system in the direction that they're going in under Marco Sturm, and then you insert a skilled player like James Higgins, who just went through a competitive college season.
Well, regardless, I mean, we're not expecting much this season. Obviously, the future is bright when it comes to Higgins. So even if you see him in April,
prospects,
and
I'm
other
high
prospects
on Will Zellers and a number of these guys.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Hey, you know what? We have more of Boston Has Entered the Chat on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. Roll with us. We're going to keep partying. We need you with us. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. Travis Thomas, Kasey Hudson, here in the cozy confines of the Salem 5 studio. Yes, it is cozy. Now, let's get into what's trending.
I just realized I can never be one of those hand models. I've got sloppy form for the hand modeling. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Let's get into what's trending in the world of sports and your group chats, because that's what we care about. We are all up in there, and I know you all are talking about this. Damian Lillard could have been a Boston Celtic. He said, nah, bruh, you know what I'm going to do? This according to Shams. 9-time NBA All-Star Damian Lillard is finalizing a 3-year, that's right, I said $42 million to return to the Portland Trailblazers. The deal's expected to include all the things that are great for him. No trade clauses, player options, a storybook reunion. Whoop-de-doo, except what about winning, bruh?
He gave up.
I mean, you could have been a Celtic. You could have gone to any contender.
He gave up.
Any of them. For less money. Oh, it's the money.
Honey. Yeah, the lamest part about that tweet, not anything against Shams there, is the storybook.
Storybook ending.
What was so storybook about it?
Here's a
Besides
story.
the return
Well,
in
no.
general, but like...
Every story has like a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Sure,
okay?
sure.
So let's just tell it.
Yeah.
He gets drafted by the Portland Trailblazers. From a small school no one cares about. They embraced him. They love him. Then he gives them a decade. This is the middle of the story. Then he gives them a decade of excellence, and they lose. Okay? Then we're getting towards the end now.
Okay.
He leaves for greener pastures. Thanks, Portland, on his way out. You've made me a better man, but now I must go win a championship. Joins forces with a superhuman in Giannis Antetokounmpo and loses. Then he decides at the very end, you know what I'll do? I could join forces with another superhuman named Jason Tatum, who will be back. He's got some guy named Jaylen Brown, Derek White. They have an all-star team. I could go there for a little less money, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to Loserville, who gave me the chance to lose to begin with. I'm going to lose with them and go down with the ship just like it started.
Yeah.
That's what he chose. He chose the money case. And that's the end of that storybook story.
I've never loved a story more, honestly. And that just speaks to the toxicity of roots sometimes. But that's coming from a girl that really had no roots because I lived everywhere as a military brat. So
That's true.
yeah. I was all about the rerouting, which is why it was kind of disappointing. Like, go after,
Yes, go.
go after more, dude. You know this story. You
Yeah.
know that story. I hate
Yes.
the word storybook and all.
It
of that.
also wasn't a disaster in Milwaukee. He just got hurt. His body broke down. You know why? You got older. You had a lot of miles from Portland.
You're 35 years old.
Yes, like you broke down because you stayed too damn long. Now you want to go back.
Putting that whole team on your back year after year after year after year after year. You could have gone and been a supporting staple on a roster that actually can contend to win. So that's why I was surprised about this. But here's a funny for you. Fans that were reacting to it, this was the best one. Somebody said that their entire timeline right now is Damian Lillard and Coldplay memes. It's Friday. We got to make sure the element of entertainment is in the Friday.
Dame should have left Portland sooner.
Dude should have gone home.
CEO should have just, but
Gone
hey,
home.
it's not working, baby. We gotta end this. And then he could go to any
Home.
concert he wanted. You know what I mean? Both of them should have walked away sooner. That's the story here. Also, 3 years, $42 million. There were no contenders that were going to give him that,
Nowhere.
including the one here, okay? So, hey, listen, we've covered sports a long time, you and I.
Yeah.
There are some athletes that don't care about winning. They don't. Fine, go get your money. You care about your money. I would expect this move from Bradley Beal, not from Dame Lillard. I feel bamboozled because I thought he is an all-time great talent.
Yeah.
And I thought, go ring chase. Your legacy needs a ring or a Eastern Conference Finals or something. And no, it was the money. Okay, that's how I remember you.
All
You had
right.
a great jump shot and you never won anything. Congratulations, bro.
And he'll feel that because I'm thinking, oh, this was a chance to revitalize your career and you know, let those postseason numbers go towards something. But
Nope.
Story.
Fade to black. All right, TJ Watt signs a 3-year, speaking of money, honey, 3-year, $132 million. Good Lord, with the Steelers becoming the highest paid defender in the NFL. Here's a tweet from Shefty. I mean, 108 fully guaranteed at signing.
Guaranteed.
41 per year, Casey. I should have drank more milk and lifted weights.
TJ. Yeah, that family's DNA is insane,
It's crazy.
honestly. Like, it's ridiculous. They can play any sport that they want. And anybody who thinks I'm exaggerating, you don't watch football enough. He is a one-man wrecking crew that makes all the difference. And for that, we knew that the Steelers were not going to make it an easy walk away for him,
No.
even though the conversations took too long.
I don't think they wanted to pay him.
No.
I don't think they wanted to, but you have to. His production's, He is the Steelers
He
in a lot of
is
ways,
the Steelers,
right?
Yeah, like the logo could literally be his
Yeah.
face at this point with
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
you have
in
to
front
pay
of
him.
it. Yeah.
They didn't want to, Case.
So, I mean, and a lot of us, especially Patriots fans for a moment, were hoping that was going to play into him searching elsewhere, start a new chapter. That's tending to be a conversation around a number of the biggest athletes across professional sports. But if anything, we know that the Watt family is very loyal to where they want to stay, where home is. He just started a young family with his wife and his new kids. So it's important to kind of have that stability in a number of ways.
Okay, let's have this combo.
Let's have it.
We've watched both. Who's better, TJ or JJ? I think JJ.
Okay, I was going to say you can't ask me that because I was a J.J. Watt diehard.
I'm a JJ.
Yeah, like it was all about him. But speaking of J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt and who you would choose, sibling rivalries play into this a little bit because J.J. congratulated his brother via Twitter. There was the normal docile congratulations, nobody deserves it better. But then there was also this tweet that says he better never forget his wallet again.
Oh.
Do we have that tweet? If not,
like he's paying all bills.
He's
now.
paying for every breakfast, lunch, dinner, meal, snacks, road trips, everything in between. And I'm thinking to myself, if I tried my siblings with that, because I'm the youngest,
right?
How do I load up the group chat and say, hey, gals, by the way, don't ever forget your wallet from wherever we go from here on out.
You're also very demure, very classy. I see the Watt.
I actually hated the.
You didn't like that?
Everyone taking on Demure too much.
I see the Watt boys, like, that tab at that restaurant is different. Like, I envision the Watt family sitting at a dinner table the way cavemen sit around fire. And they're eating with their hands, and there's just a lot of blood and guts everywhere. And you're just like, what's going on?
A minimum of $1,000 for each meal.
Like that, your restaurant bill is a salad and some water with no ice. Like, that's a different level, okay? The Watt boys, you need a Brontosaurus burger or two. Like, it's a lot going on there, I think.
The exact tweet is, I swear if this guy even lets me begin to reach for my wallet at dinner. Now, to put this into context, career earnings for J.J. Watt, our favorite, $129.7 million. And that's through 12 years. Wow. Now the new extension for TJ, 3 years, $123 million.
Oh, in 3 years he made...
Little bro is going to be right underneath $129 million.
For career earnings.
Yes,
and J.J. Watt was paid.
He
was always like top of the league.
But it just shows you how much the market continues to change as these contracts continue to get bigger and bigger, and these holdouts and these conversations. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the Patriots part of today's show. But it's just like, speaking up is changing the game.
Olivia, put this in notes for things to do today. Get Casey's agent and my agent on the phone, please, so we can start negotiating a little more. Okay, NFL PA Executive Director. I just slid that in.
Beautiful.
Very demure.
Yeah.
Executive Director Lloyd Howell resigned late last night. He tried to slide this one under the rug, Case. He didn't get by us. Following this collusion scandal we've been following on the show. What is going on with the NFLPA? This is insane.
Did he go to a Coldplay concert?
Was he on that screen? Howell has come under scrutiny since ESPN reported he has maintained a part-time, listening to this, consulting job with Carlyle Group, a private equity firm. It holds league approval to seek minority ownership in NFL franchises. Can you say conflict of interest and scandal from these people yet again?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's already a TV show on Scandal, but he can formulate one of his own and make it less capital and more this. It's just rare for him today. There's just so much going on, but it's so obvious what not to do sometimes when it comes to the conflict of interest conversation in business and all aspects of it. And some people really try to dance that line like they have the genius approach to it. But yeah, for the nighttime scandal of it all, it just added to a loaded day.
It gets more slimy. The latest issue on ESPN reported that 2 player representatives who voted for this guy were not aware he was sued in 2011 for sexual discrimination and retaliation while he was a senior executive at Booz Allen. So he ain't new to this scumbag stuff. He's true to this. This is what he does.
The unaware thing. Can we just...
Unaware.
Can we touch on that for a second? That's one of those things that, like, we have, like, if you're looking at a script, if you come across the word unaware in this context, it's one of those things that are italicized. You know, the font's a little shorter. And you're like, I was unaware. No, I was uninterested in getting involved in what I know that I heard.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So they swept it under the rug as long as they could, and then eventually this guy was this guy, and they said, you know what? we're all in a mess here. He resigned late last night. I do want to add that too.
Yeah.
This wasn't a press conference this morning. This was a late night. You know what? I'm going to head out like the SpongeBob meme. All right, I'm going to head out of here.
Or who's the Simpson that
fade
goes
Homer,
into the bush?
He just fades in the bush.
Yeah.
Like, we see you,
Just
bro.
slid out. Yeah.
All these guys, all this collusion stuff, they're all scumbags. The billionaire owners, all the NFLPA, all of them, their hands are dirty. Every last one of them. All right, well, let's talk about good football then.
Yeah.
Because still to come here on Boston has entered the chat. We do have training camp starting like next week.
Finally.
So we'll talk it with the Patriots next, right here on Boston has entered the chat. Don't you go nowhere. Oh, you're ready for some football? We are. I can't lie. Case, when football season is over, as much as I love all these sports, we talk about them every day here on Boston has entered the chat. In fact, get involved. Email us to chat@nesson.com. Tweet at us using the hashtag NessonChat. Call us 617-790-0928. But when football season is over, I go into a deep, dark hole of I miss you so much football, and I don't feel joy in my heart again until training camp is here. And it's here, Case. Tuesday, or actually rookies report tomorrow, vets report Tuesday, Wednesday, it's on, baby. Training camp is back.
Yeah, I feel like this offseason was even more depressing because all we chose to talk about was Bill and Jordan. Like, I can't wait for training camp to start
So
because guess what?
true.
I don't want to talk about them anymore ever again. I don't care what happens. If he goes missing, I'm so sorry. He lived a long life, but I don't want to talk about them anymore. But we actually get to talk about the good stuff.
Breaking news.
Dude, he could be the next Dateline episode. Don't run it by me until years down the line where I show my kids, this is what happens when you play with bad situations. But yes, training camp finally among us. And I feel like the best part about it is we don't have to do the what could be. We can finally look at things for what it is and have a better evaluation. And there's so much excitement around this team because we know what Mike Vrabel is capable of. I think that we love the direction that we want to see this team go in. But there's still a lot of things that we have to see. Hey, are you the real deal? Drake May. Are you going to go into a sophomore slump? Or are you going to go into a sophomore takeoff, which is what we all want to see, but he still has this questionable offensive line in front of him, wide receiving room that doesn't really go under the category of sexy, even though there's some moves that could still be made to kind of level up the sexy on this team.
That's a fact. We can talk about that. I'm down to talk about that. Yeah, I'm with you. I think everything's well said. And it could be a sophomore slump. We don't know. You never know with second-year quarterbacks, but we know this. According to Mike Reese, Drake May is already in the building and has been. How about this?
Love to see
Drake May was among the players at Gillette Stadium Thursday, as in yesterday. Not uncommon for some players to arrive early. Rookies and QBs due in tomorrow. Non-rehabbing vets due Tuesday. First practice on Wednesday. But I love that Drake May is there, and the fans love it too. Savage Sports, great follow, by the way. Mike Reese, let's go! I added the sound effects, but you get it. Boston Cream tweets, Drake May got married for the second time this offseason. He was already married to the game, dog.
That might be my favorite tweet.
I mean, it's facts, though.
Yeah.
Look, we saw, not to compare him, but we saw this with Tom. We saw it with Tom. The work ethic was there. He was there early.
I tried to make this comparison, and I feel like George kind of rained on my parade.
You got to be careful, and I understand. No one's saying he is the next Tom. Although that'd be nice.
It's the approach.
It's the approach.
It's the approach. It's taking the time to, and we're speculating here, but he hosted, well, the speculation is not him hosting players, but where they were.
Yeah.
And we were assuming that it's probably in the Carolinas where he hangs out, but to have the team come to you, to be working together with certain guys from the wide receiving room and to have your go-to tight end and Hunter Henry, that's what you want to see, especially because you guys are working on a new offensive system, one that's categorized as very intricate and difficult and complex, but great to make you a winning team again.
Sure.
They're going to put themselves in a position to have understanding and have rhythm and have this timing and pace and cadence about them ahead of the curve, and that's what you want to see. So that's where the comparison comes in, because you always saw Tom get together with his guys ahead of time at high schools or wherever.
Well, you just saw Tom work, period. Between TB12, working with teammates, all of it. That was the problem. Giselle said, hey, you got a family here. Bro was like, I'm locked in. I'm married to the game, as the tweeter said. Look, what do you want to see, though, from Drake May? Like, let's have the conversation of how do we avoid the sophomore slump?
Right.
A big part of it is what the Patriots can do around him.
Yes.
And they have done a decent job. Mike Vrabel's a fantastic job. Josh McDaniels, fantastic job. I thought they could do more with the offensive line this offseason.
Yes.
However, it's better. It's tough to get worse. I thought last season was rock bottom in terms of the offensive line. They have improved. I'll give them that, okay?
Yeah.
I thought they could have done more at wide receiver. You still can.
Still can.
It's not too late, Terry McLaurin.
Never too late.
Okay?
I feel like we're singing.
But again, not as bad as last year. They did upgrade it. Although I have some concerns with Stephon Diggs' age, mileage, girlfriend.
Could be ex-girlfriend.
Could be. I hope so.
Yeah.
I still think it's an upgrade at wide receiver. So those things help a Drake May. I want to see him play more in the preseason, ironically.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think I get he's your guy. I get he's a franchise guy. I get it's the second year. Kid still needs reps, and it's a new offense. Again.
That's
right?
the biggest thing.
He had a different offense in his rookie year. He's already changed it in year 2.
Yeah.
Now, we appreciate the Josh McDaniels offense. We think that Josh McDaniels offense is what's best for everyone here. We think Drake May will be in this system for many moons to come. But for right now, you got to get the reps, kid. I want to see more of him in this preseason.
Yeah, I'm actually not against you on that one. You usually look at QB1s taking about 30% of any sort of preseason action. And the biggest reason that I want to see him involved in preseason a bit more is because where he kind of jumped off the page for fans to be like, oh, heck yeah, I'm on board with this guy. His preseason debut, he threw 0 interceptions. That was a large topic of conversation that riddled the social media world. And then it was like, oh, now let's just make him QB1 off the mark because this team is already kind of looking questionable as is. So.
Sure.
You want to see what that comparison is because you mentioned the system change. Can he come in and can he find ways to be efficient and effective in a preseason that's not going to be the same pace as the NFL once things get really geared up and going?
Yeah.
But how quickly has he started to wrap his arms and his brain around what Josh McDaniels is going to have there? And then a sharp offense is all about having that cadence. I know I keep saying this word, but having that offseason time to figure out each other's rhythm so that there's no hesitation, so that wherever he places the ball, he can trust that the receiver is going to be there. That was always a big yelling match in a less dramatic way when it came to Tom Brady and whoever he was working amongst. That's why he got with his receivers early and his tight ends, and that's why he always had this undeniable chemistry with Rob Gronkowski because Gronk could read him no matter what the situation was. If Tom Brady was about to land on his back because the pressure was coming in too hot, Gronk was still going to be there. So that's what needs to get in line for Drake May to become that quarterback they need him to be and not fall into a slump.
If you were playing a drinking game waiting on Casey to talk about tight ends, congratulations. Here's another thing that I'm looking...
I tried not to. I really did. Okay, whatever. It's Friday. Here we go.
Here's another thing I have my eye on. So I have been fully saying that I think Travion Henderson is going to become the starting running back here. Okay?
We already know. I was screaming his name from the mountain
Well,
for the draft. So
somebody's got to get this man some money because he's still unsigned. A lot of these second-round players are still unsigned. Tyler Shuck, I know, quarterback for the Saints.
He's causing problems.
He wants fully guaranteed money, and it's holding everything up. Derek Carr retires. So, I mean, I kind of get the position here. If you're Shuck, you're like, bro, you drafted me. You don't have anyone else.
No,
who are you going to start?
you're pushing
Spencer
the
Rattler
pavement.
again? Like, give me all my money. And it's messing everything up. So, Travion Henderson's still not under contract. I need this done yesterday. This kid, I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to take Ramondre Stevenson's starting job. Although I could see early on in the season running back by committee and Ramondre being the starter. But I think after a while, you're going to see Travion Henderson as a home run hitter, which is why he's here.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, we have to give him the ball more. And he'll be the starter ultimately and get the bulk of carries. But you can't do that if you don't have a contract, Case.
You can't do that without a contract. And, like, granted, I hope he's not being difficult on this end just because of, you know, how it's playing out for the rest of these
I think they're waiting on this
guys.
Shuck kid.
I know, but it's crazy for him to even be asking for guaranteed money. You're going into a dumpster fire team, and there's so many unknowns for this team. They can't put a guarantee on you because they have no clue who they are.
Facts.
Anyway,
Facts.
I do need Henderson to get situated, though, because I was a little disappointed to not see that he didn't join some of the guys that were with Drake May, kind of, you know, getting those reps in, and you have a Ramondre Stevenson that was getting in the mix there. And the biggest thing that kind of hindered him was ball security.
Right.
So if this guy finds a rhythm with Drake May, Henderson just kind of pushed himself out from solidifying that expectation that we both have for him.
point.
That's why I was screaming his name from the mountaintops, because I was like, this can be an impact player immediately.
Yes.
And he can challenge for that lead spot and be Drake May's guy.
Yep.
But you can't do that if you're going to continue to have these holdouts and stuff. And you can't do it when you've got Ramondre, who is spending that extra time with the quarterback and making sure that he cleans up those mistakes.
I agree. The beautiful thing, though, is it is a running back.
Right.
And not to be disrespectful, but like receivers, tight ends, these are timing routes. This is you have to have some chemistry with your quarterback, knows what he likes.
Right.
I go here, he likes me there. There's different like details with the passing game.
Yes.
With the run game, hey bro, there's a hole, go hit it, and then make somebody miss and run in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, so at some point you will sign him, he'll get in there and he can just do him.
Yeah.
If this was a receiver,
My
I'd
only
be
concern
more
is,
nervous.
Like, if we had a better offensive line, you could be a little lax about this. You know what I mean? It's not just a new intricate system. You're also talking about an offensive line that we don't really know how helpful they're going to be quite yet.
Hey, let's talk Will Campbell.
That's
another person now all of us have to have our eyes on.
Mm-hmm.
I said this to George, just in covering offensive linemen over the years. I'm not as intricate in offensive lineman play, okay? I know this. If I don't hear your name on the daily as an offensive lineman, it means you're doing great.
Yeah.
Because if you're hearing Will Campbell's name every day,
Yep.
that defensive line, which is really good for this team, is giving him fits. Mm-hmm. So I actually want to hear that he's holding up just fine against a really good defensive line every day, Kate.
Right, and it's good because we had, like, in our notes, like, do you want to see him kind of having these lights-out plays, or do you just kind of need him simply making sure that things are remaining even kill and aggressive enough on the offensive line? But, I mean, one of the biggest things that made Campbell jump off the page was, the fact that he had the capability to limit sacks.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. You're talking about a team that let up 52
Drake.
sacks last season. Exactly. Let's just get under the number 52.
Well, Drake May was running for his life all last year.
Right.
And I've been saying I want to see him run by design. Like, I would love McDaniels to have Drake May on the run, right? Because he's that athletic. I don't want to see him running for his life. There is a difference there, Case.
No, I pictured the difference. That's why I just started laughing.
You could see it.
I could.
Flashbacks to last season. Great. Case and I have PTSD from watching Drake May get smoked all last season.
On the run.
Let's hope it's not this season. Hey, thanks for watching. We always appreciate you rolling with us here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. But the party doesn't stop. Come on over to Nesson Nation, baby. We're going to keep it going. Will you? We'll see you there.